In here. So the TWAB is really short. Here, let me invite you.
Good.
I can't invite you, I don't think, because you're offline.
Here, start a party and invite me. Make it easier.
Yeah, just make sure you don't have make sure you don't have your headphones in, because then you'll echo.
My headphones are in my computer.
Okay. Yo, what's up, everyone? So the way this is gonna go, Jay-Z and I are gonna be leveling our second characters. Or his third, actually.
Third for me.
Some of us actually have jobs, so.
Vacation.
Well, what's up, everyone? So, yeah, so the first part we're going to go over the TWAB. It's pretty short, but there's some really, really awesome stuff in here. We're going to be leveling up characters, and then after we go over the TWAB, we'll be switching speeds, and then we'll switch over to gameplay in the background, and we'll talk about our kind of opinions of the expansion as a whole, and go through the different points of the expansion and what was everything. What were our thoughts about it and all this kind of junk. So there we go. So if I seem a little bit looking this way, which I guess is normal. Okay, never mind. You won't notice a difference. Never mind. All right. Welcome, everyone. This week at Bungie, the hunt is on. Players from around the world have said their final goodbyes to K6. Oh, spoilers, obviously. We're going to be talking about the DLC. I'll mention it again after we're done with the TWAB. If you haven't played the DLC yet, you're gonna spoil it for yourself. So what are you doing? What are you doing? All right, here we go. So, yeah, DLC stuff. Launch has been a roller coaster of emotions. What do we have to do first? If we're gonna, we have to do the first mission before we go to the Tangled
first
Shore,
mission,
right?
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
We're thankful to share this with community. Everyone at Bungie, High Moon Studios, and Vicarious Visions has been watching you as you invade the lawless frontier. New experiences and secrets have yet to be discovered, and some are still on the way. Oh, baby. I like that. The full calendar of year 2 can be seen there, blah, blah, blah. All right, this is what's really exciting. Sorry, I'm changing the title. Okay. Now that we did that. The Pinnacle! Guardians have made their way to the Tangled Shore, and some of you have already reached the Dreaming City. Hell yeah, Jay-Z, we have. Hell yeah.
Yep.
Hell yeah. The pursuit of the powerful loot has taken hold, and in preparation for new doors to open. The Last Wish raid, which looks sick, by the way. Look at that logo. Oh, baby. As of course on Friday, as in 12 days. What? 12 days? No, it's in 8 days. I know how to count. Sorry.
Yeah.
The race for World's First is coming up soon. Can you guys hear the Elgato? I might need to mute this. Okay. It's coming up soon. The field just got a little bit more competitive with our new friends from Korea joining in on the starting line. This time, it's more than bragging rights. When the Last Wish becomes available, the first fire team of 6 to complete the raid will have the opportunity to acquire real-world trophies for each teammate, commemorating their accomplishments. And Jay-Z, you can't see this for right now. It's quite literally a championship belt is what the world's first team is going to win.
No, I see it. Yes. That is so awesome.
Look, man, I'm so sick of Clan Redeem getting all this shit, okay?
So, when I was in high school, we used to have like game nights, like either it was I think it was Dream or N64 or Xbox, and or board games, and we used to have a belt that whoever won that night, like they got to take the belt home with them. So
that's really cool.
Yeah, it's kind of a cool like thing to think of. So yeah. For them to make something like that with Destiny items on it, it's just awesome.
Look, but like. I we were already in the world's first raid pretty heavily. We've all been grinding our asses off and that sort of thing. We're all really, really excited for the 24-hour emblem. If you complete it in the first 24 hours, you get an exclusive emblem. It looks sick. And this solidifies it. Like, we've got to go hard in the paint. We gotta go. We always get if you look back over our team's multiple attempts with things like the Leviathan, even Wrath of the Machine. We always get so freaking close, and then I think we just hit an edge, and then the last encounter always just kills us. So I think if we can keep composed, keep our shit together, like we have the skill, and previous attempts have shown that we can do this. We have been so close. We were ahead of the winning team for both Spire and Wrath of the Machine. But we fall apart on the final encounter. And it's got to stop, you know? I've had enough of this nonsense. We're taking home the freaking bacon. I'm getting a championship belt, you know? Probably not, but I'm going to be trying
I don't
my
think
ass
it's
off.
necessarily we fall apart. I think it's we get frustrated.
Yeah.
And we don't know how to overcome that like we should. And
Yeah. I think we all operate best in situations where we master something, obviously.
Yes.
But I particularly really love being in situations where I feel out-skilled, where I feel like an encounter is too hard to beat. I love that. I feel like a lot of people in our fire team don't love that, and that ends up being a problem almost every time.
Well, I think it's more of attention spans. I think,
and attention spans. There you go.
yeah. I think that's more like, you know, if you're just banging your head over the same thing over and over again. Some people tend to have it's personality types, and that's fine. We gotta knuckle up on this one.
But I've pretty much made the determination that no matter what, I'm kind of going into this with the mindset that someone's probably going to try to bail out 8 hours in or whatever. No matter what, whether like even if I have to do it for a full 24 hours or whatever, I'm getting that emblem. I don't care if I have to find an LFG team. I don't care if I have to solo the freaking raid. Like I am getting that raid emblem. Or I'm going to be doing everything humanly possible to get that raid emblem. So, but I'm pretty confident. It's a subject matter that we all love. It's in a DLC that we're all really like. You know, the light's not crazy down like Spire. Well, I'm fairly certain all of us will be able to get at least 530, if not 540, if not 550, with a whole extra reset, which is 550 is the base level of the raid. So I mean, I'm extremely confident that we're going to be going into this, and it's not going to be a us versus over-leveled enemy thing. It's going to be going back to the OG Wrath of the Machine days, where it's the difficulty of the raid is not the ads. It's finding out what the hell to do. Same thing that was in King's Fall. With the exception of the Oryx encounter, I mean, King's Fall, it wasn't hard to kill things, right? And I think that's how it kind of should be. I think that's more fun. If you're able to just focus on figuring stuff out instead of trying to stay alive the entire time. And I think we'll do a lot better then, because I know a couple people on our fire team, when they're having trouble killing enemies, they get really antsy about it. And so I think this will help a lot. Do you have a picture of the emblem? Yeah, I can try to Google one real quick. Sorry.
I'm thinking... I think Bungie's done a really good job, though, of mixing the mechanics and the killing, especially even in Spire. But that being said, yes, I hope, especially for the first, because they're expecting people to get this exclusive emblem, or wanting them to get this exclusive emblem.
Right.
But, like, it can't be like Spire the Stars hard, because there's so many teams that probably still this day haven't beat that.
Yeah, I haven't beat. I mean, I'm sure, guaranteed, it's the least beaten raid. What the hell? Who did I private message it to someone? Here we go. Boom. This one. It's called First to the Forge. It's like a rainbowy Ahamkara emblem. It's pretty damn cool. Okay, just think you have 24 hours to get that. Whoever gets it is going to be able to, I mean, flex hardcore, right? Like that's a big deal. That is a big deal. Not as much as if you have the belt there. I mean, that's sick. Like, I there's a lot of things I would do for that belt, to be completely honest, and that's sick. But
that's for another podcast.
What would you do for a world's first belt? Well, let me tell you. Do I have some stories and scenarios to share? Yeah. So there you go, Nick. But the fact I think Bungie's execution of this DLC, and we'll talk about this a lot later, but Bungie's a singular person. They've been very conscious of the community this time around, especially since Warmind and that side of stuff. But doing this sort of thing, acknowledging the Gambit tournament and doing that sort of thing, and I guess even the Gambit tournament at GuardianCon and that sort of thing, they're finally starting to embrace the community, right? Like it's no longer they make games for us. It's like they make games with us, and they have cool rewards and stuff like that. And if this belt is any indication, I think the future is going to be awesome. There's, everyone used to talk about how they wish Destiny had an MLG circuit and stuff, and that is nothing compared to if Bungie starts doing actual tournaments and stuff themselves. That's when stuff starts to get really awesome and crazy. So I'm very excited for that. Skarrow, do you think Bungie will add more exotics through September and October? There was only 23 new ones in Forsaken, 19 minus the returning ones.
Yes.
Yeah, well, with maybe.
They have hidden ones that aren't.
Yeah, surely yet. There's at least. You got to think. I don't know if you're counting the 2 raid exotics, but I mean, you have those 2, which are the 1,000 Voices and the Wish Ender are in some way tied into the raid. So those will be out. But most certainly there's at least 1 secret exotic, right? I'm not sure how many more you could really ask for. 19 new exotics is a shit ton, right? Like that is a lot. And then you got to remember we have catalysts too, which essentially double the number of exotics you have. The good ones, the good catalysts, double the number of exotics you have. So I think there will be more exotics, but I wouldn't expect so much more. I think if you're disappointed if we don't get 25 exotics or whatever, you're not setting yourself up very great for the future. Like there's only so many ideas. 19 new exotics is huge though. That's a lot.
Yeah.
Did you get the chicken emote? Not yet. We'll talk about my opinion of the entire expansion in a bit when we start actually power leveling. Okay. Okay. So this is the next thing I really want to talk about. They're talking about how the music of Destiny 2, the soundtrack is in the Bungie store. If you register your email with Bungie and you sign up for the Bungie Rewards program, which is the greatest program ever. That's another one that's just like the belt. If you register for that, when you beat the campaign, you get the soundtrack for Curse of Osiris, Warmind, and Forsaken, all for free. The entire thing. So that's like 4 hours of music, all for free, just for registering your account. And I actually want to show you guys this. Did they do it? I don't think so. This is really cool. I've mentioned this to Jay-Z. I have not explicitly talked about this a lot with Jay-Z. But this is something, especially as a person who really likes Bungie or Destiny themed merchandise in terms of like collectibles, like pins. Obviously you guys know my pin collection. I have a couple posters, that sort of thing. This makes me really excited. So, last week, Moments of Triumphs came to a close to make way for the launch of Destiny 2 Forsaken. Today, we're happy to announce that we're introducing a brand new rewards program built around Forsaken and linked to the Bungie store to give you more ways to celebrate, commemorate, and show off your in-game accomplishments. We're calling it Bungie Rewards. It kicks off today with Destiny 2 Forsaken, and the first offer is something we don't think you'll want to miss. Any player who signs up by opting in and verifying their email and completes the Destiny 2 Forsaken campaign by the end of September will receive a free digital download of the OST. 110 minutes of music plus 2 bonus tracks from the Whisper of the Worm quest, and then you also do get the Curse of Osiris and Warmind ones as well on top of that. Also available, I don't care about all this. As the Season of the Outlaw rolls on, Bungie Rewards will offer additional collector's items to earn, acquire, and unlock that are uniquely crafted to commemorate various tiers of in-game accomplishment. That right there makes me so excited. To sign up, you go to the Bungie Rewards page. Anyway, so I'll go to the Bungie Rewards page, and they actually show you what you get. So, yeah, I want the notification thing. Okay. Available rewards. Acquire the Ace of Spades. Details about this exclusive thing for purchase are coming soon. I'm fairly certain, if you guys were paying attention to the social media, a bunch of these Destiny YouTubers that went to the Gambit event, they got these miniature models of I think they're 1/4 scale of the Ace of Spades. I mean, 1/4 scale, so they're probably about 4 inches big, 4x4, maybe 6x4 or something. They're pretty small. That's in inches for those of you who use the metric system. So they're pretty small, but they're really cool, and they're like little statuettes, I would call them. And I'm assuming, since this one is Acquire the Ace of Spades, whenever this comes to the store, you will only be able to purchase that statue if you have the code from earning it in-game, which is pretty cool. That's the easiest one. They get much more difficult. Season 4 Legendary Victory. Win Glory Ranked matches while at Legend rank in Season 4. So you have a reward exclusively based on that. And remember, this is sort of like the Moments of Triumph shirt, where you can only buy it if you do it in-game, which is cool. I just hope, they could do something really scummy with this or something really cool with this. I hope that it's really cool and it's like the shirt where, it's like $5 or $10 and it's just a cool little, either a pin or a little, like when the statuette's like the Ace of Spades or something, just that you can put on a shelf and be like, this is a real life representation of how much time I put into the game or something like that. That would be really cool. Another way they could do it is make it so you spend all this time, you do it, and then you just unlock the ability to buy like a $200 action figure statuette of something. I don't think they'll do that, but I can see the community freaking out if that happens. So I really hope they're just really cool little trinkets, little pins, little just sort of like how in like Skyrim, right? You beat a dragon priest, you take his helmet, you put it on a shelf in your Skyrim home. But if you were to do that for Destiny and it kind of translated over to the real world, I think that would be really sick. And I think that's what they're going for, especially when you look at things like the Moments of Triumph shirt or even crazier things like the Raid's first belts that they're doing. I think that's a pretty good indication that they know what they're doing with this sort of stuff, which makes me really excited. Jay-Z, I'll read through the rest of these, and I want to hear your opinion on these. There's just a couple more. There's one for lore. If you complete all the lore triumphs, you get something in-game. I can see that being like a miniature scroll statue or something. Maybe a Grimoire card statue. That would be sick. Destination, complete all the Destination triumphs. Dreaming City, complete all the Dreaming City triumphs. One for Gambit triumphs. One for Crucible triumphs. And then there is one classified. But you do those things, you get ability to buy things in real world. We're in the real world. So, Jay-Z, does that seem like a cool thing to you, or just kind of like a way to get more money for Bungie? I want to hear your perspective on it.
So it matters what they are, and if they're like, if the value is worth what they're going to ask for them. Mm-hmm. So hopefully they don't jack them up too much. Because like if they had like a little mini last word statue or like that, I think it'd be cool to just put on my desk at work or something like that. And but I'm not a t-shirt guy. I barely ever wear t-shirts. Right. So like that doesn't do it for me. But I think it's cool because like basically what you earn in the game, then you can transfer over to real world things.
Right.
And as long as there's stuff that like it's not something that I guess they're only going to be like collector's items things. So some people like them, some people don't. Like I'd like more little like statue type things, and I would like clothing type things. But,
right. So if they did that, so if for every challenge you got, there's like a miniature. So like say you did all the lore ones, and you got like maybe like just a 4x4 inch Grimoire card statue. Would you buy that and put that on a shelf?
If it was like $20 or less, probably.
Yeah, I'd say like 20. I think it's safe to say they would probably aim for the shirt price for Moments of Triumph.
Yeah.
I think that's a safe price. So, yeah.
I definitely, for something like that, because it's something like that's tangible for something that you did in the, because like, there are people that don't understand gaming. They're like, oh, why would you spend all this money on this and devote all this time? And like, you can actually have something as like a real world plot.
I'd say I am one of 1,000 people in the world that did this and earned that.
Yes.
Yeah, yes. Exactly.
Which is kind of cool because it's like a sports trophy. Like,
Yeah.
Like, you do, your team wins the championship, or you do this or that. Like, you score the most goals in a season, or something like. So it could be something similar to that. Mm-hmm. I didn't like one of the Moments of Triumph. There was one that said or the triumphs, it said bought collector's edition of Destiny 2.
Yeah, so the limited edition, but that
Limited
doesn't
edition,
stop
yeah.
you from getting any of the seals, and it doesn't cost any points. But I do agree with that. It's really weird. And one thing that sucks is like I did get the limited edition all those like a year ago, right? And
Yeah.
it doesn't count for me. So it's bugged. So they're investigating it. I think that's kind of scummy too. Does the collector's edition count? Like surely it does, right?
I have the collector's edition. I thought
You bought that one with
see,
the
for
Hawthorne
me,
deck?
No, I didn't. No, I didn't. I
So
just
that's the
bought
collector's.
I bought the $100 one, whatever that was.
Yeah, that's the limited edition. That's the one that the Triumph requires.
It won't let me click on it though.
Yeah, exactly. It's bugged.
Because it's bugged. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought it just wasn't giving you any points for it. All right, I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't like that because like people that, I guess it's rewarding those people that bought the game on launch.
I think it should be hidden. They should be if they are things like that. If they're insistent on including them, it's something that is
Secret achievement.
secret achievement exactly. So kind of
Yeah.
black it out. I know a lot of the other ones are blacked out. Like if you didn't play
Yeah.
Destiny 1, I'm fairly certain you can't see some of those achievements, and that sort of thing. So yeah, I don't agree with it either. I don't know why that would be like. That's not a triumph. Like that doesn't show that you played the game, or so I don't really understand that. I guess, but if it's gonna be there, I agree. It needs to be functioning properly. Especially if it's something small like your Gambit wins aren't counting or something, that's fine. But if you're gonna make it so people have to potentially spend more money to get an in-game triumph worth zero anything, you better make sure it's kind of working. Like that's pretty important. Yeah, that's just one nitpick though.
Yeah, I mean that was the only one that I didn't go through every single page because obviously I'm working on.
It's gonna take a long time.
Oh no, I mean just looking at the ones that they had, but I mean they're all achievable. Like they weren't anything ridiculous from what I saw that I didn't have unlocked. So, that was the only one that really like kind of I was like, really, seriously, like bought collector's edition, like, but. I guess it's not that big of a deal if it's only one and it doesn't affect you getting whatever you need to for that section of the book.
Right.
So.
Right. Yeah. No, I agree. When I saw that, I was like, okay, Bungie, I don't know what you're doing here, but if they hopefully they make like a public statement about it. They've been really good about doing that. So it'll be interesting to see what they kind of say.
Well, what they should actually change it to was purchase Destiny 2 or pre-ordered or purchased on launch or something like that, because that's basically what that edition is.
Exactly.
And then you're not excluding people that didn't pay $10 more or whatever it was.
100% agree with that one. And then you're like, yeah, they're congratulating people and rewarding them for supporting the game, especially through difficult times. And then yeah, I agree, and you're not locking anyone out just for not paying $40 more for an edition of the game that has a couple extra trinkets or whatever. I absolutely agree. Yeah, but that's pretty much all of the crazy stuff. So I guess we can start talking about the actual DLC and what we thought about it. And here's a good question, Prodigy Bros. On a scale of 1 to 10, what did you think of the DLC? Like honestly, I'm feeling a solid 10, and we don't even have everything. But Jay-Z is the more critical one. So what do you think, Jay-Z?
This is everything that I wanted in Destiny. This is everything that I wanted in Destiny 1. The grind is real. I love every second.
The grind is insane. By the way, yeah.
I mean, like once you hit 500, like the grind is like I'm at 513 on my main.
Yeah, I just hit 516 as well. So
513. So basically, I went up. So the march to 500 is nothing, but once you hit 500, that 13 light levels or power levels it has been every piece of powerful gear I can get.
Exactly, and some lucky prime engram drops as well. Like
to get to 600, it's going to take probably close to a month. It seems like, depending on your luck and if you do every single powerful gear on all 3 characters every week.
Yeah.
It might not take quite that long, but it's going to take close to that.
I think it would be close. Yeah, especially
which
like,
to me is perfect.
Yeah, I agree.
Like I wanted grind. I wanted things that like the original grind in Destiny 2 was great, and then right when you got past that, then it was just like
Yeah.
there was no grind.
Yeah.
So, and then this one, and I don't know how far you want to get into weapon systems or armor. If we
Yeah,
want
let's
to get
talk
into
about
that
it
now,
all.
or if
It's
we
part
want.
of the DLC. Let's do it.
All right. So, not like hearing, because we talked about weapon systems on the podcast prior, but like getting into them and actually getting my hands on the weapons, like each one feels unique. Even the same weapon with different perks on it, it feels unique, and it feels different, and it feels like it feels good. And on top of that, every masterwork is different. So like you're randomly assigned a masterwork. So you could get a perfectly rolled weapon with a masterwork that you don't want.
I didn't think that I was gonna like that, by the way, but I do very much like that.
No, it adds to the grind of getting that perfect weapon. Like,
Yep.
so it takes the Destiny 1 levels of like the random rolls and then adds even more onto it. I haven't had any mods. I've had a few mod pieces drop, I think. I don't know if any mods.
I have a couple mods. I have a bunch of the Riven ones.
Okay.
There's one that I need to go on my primary. I don't know what it's like ascendancy or something. I don't really know what it does. But there's a couple like I'm interested in checking out. But
The
yeah,
armor perks.
Yeah,
armor perks are
good.
amazing. Well, I mean, like, so you take the system in Destiny 1 and you have these armor perks of extra ammo or extra pickups of ammo or this or that, and you just completely trash them and make it as basic as possible. Now it's like even more in depth than it was in Destiny 1. Like, I have a pair of boots that have faster sprint speed and turn radius or something like that. So like there's just so much that like so many different things that you can get on each piece of gear that just make it like completely worth grinding out those pieces over and over again to get those rolls that you want. And on top of it, I haven't even upgraded F on any of them yet because I'm not set on what I'm going to use for the raid.
Exactly.
So like all that combined just makes me so giddy for this whole process of months to come rather than like a month and then I'm done with Destiny,
Exactly.
Destiny 2. So
so kind of on from there. So we have mechanics. I'm very happy with how everything turned out. Like you said, armor's all of it's great. All of it's perfect. Damn near perfect. We still haven't even had any of the catalysts yet. I don't think any of the exotics have their catalysts released yet. Everything's appropriately difficult. Like the first time I went into the Dreaming City, I was like, what the, like, we can't do this. Like, we physically cannot do this. Now it's a lot easier. Yeah. Now it's a bit easier. Yeah.
But I mean, like, it's you have to have a huge group to even to get a tier 2 well.
Well, right now you do. Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, but I mean, that's how you want it. You want it to slowly progress up as you power up. You can. I think that this is the best ramp up that we've had so far.
I agree with that. It's the most
Destiny
perfected.
history.
I feel like the most thought went into it. I feel like they actually played through it like a person would, and they're like, all right, this needs to be more difficult here, and that needs to be whatever.
Well, I mean, and then going from the Tangled Shores to the Dreaming City, just the ramp up just in level and how difficult it was, and they're both beautiful places too. Like
the Dreaming City is my favorite location ever. It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. Yeah, absolutely. That kind of ties into this. So the Dreaming City storyline and this story. So we have one person in chat, Roofing Contractor. What a name, by the way. I like it. He says, I gotta admit, the story blew like really bad, and everyone's kind of defending it, but I don't agree with that. I personally think this was the best and most impactful storyline we've had in Destiny to date. I don't know.
I would say it's the most cinematic of any of the Destiny stories to date.
In terms of implications,
even when we had
I know that you are a huge fan of Taken King. Would you rather play the Forsaken story again or play the Taken King story, and why?
Well, obviously, this is the third time. This is my third character through, and we skip all the cutscenes. I'm trying to think back to Taken King story. Taken King story was much more linear. I don't remember like having to go off on the side and grind things. Offhand, I could be wrong.
I don't think you did. I'm trying to remember.
I think it was just linear straight through to Oryx, if I remember.
Yeah,
right.
because I beat it in like three hours. It was
Yeah.
fast.
But
Yeah.
I mean, the cinematics were good in that, but this one it was more. Like we're watching a movie, an interactive movie that we get up to these scenes. I think that they did a pretty good job of the whole farewell to Cade.
The Barons were excellent.
Yes, yeah, and we saw most of that with the reveal trailer a couple weeks ago.
But just them fleshing it out, like
to see it on, yes, and to see it on the big screen on your television rather than on your phone or on your computer.
Like they all were super. They had their own personalities. The Mad Bomber had me rolling. One really interesting thing, I didn't know this. The Fanatic. The guy that does the Fanatic's voice is the same person who does the Guardian's voice, which you would not be able to tell, but that's really cool.
Well, and then each like you said, they each had separate personalities, but even on top of that, they all had different mechanics that you had to kind of figure out. I mean, they weren't that tough, but like I could see going in solo and struggling a little bit with a few of them.
I mean, the final boss. I know he's technically not an Aaron or a Baron, but the voice of what's his name again? What's the Ahamkar's name?
I can't think
Riven,
of it.
Riven, the voice of Riven.
Yeah.
That was one of the hardest raid bosses, or story bosses, if not the hardest story boss ever. That really stuck out to me because if you remember with things like Warmind and Curse of Osiris, Josh both times was like, what the hell? This was way too easy. Why are we...
Yeah.
Like, why? And... Man, no, the voice of Riven did not have that effect. We were hiding in corners. We died a couple of times. Like
no, it was a good 30 to 40 minute fight if I remember right, or maybe it was 20. But I mean, it was
a long fight. Yeah.
I don't remember us ever like even on like a raid boss struggling that, and we weren't really struggling. We just had to make sure we kept each other alive, kept sight lines, kept enemies off of us, and then we could damage them. So, and I think it was really well done because you teleported between two different dimensions while fighting them,
right?
And then then you'd fight off waves, and then you could damage them. Well, I mean you could damage them throughout, but it was a really good fight. It was really tense. Like I'm like white knuckling the controller as I'm trying to finish it up, that type of thing. So
just real quick while we're doing this, make sure you
I'd had that years ago.
Talk to Ikora, if you will, before we go.
I believe I did.
Oh, okay, maybe. I just didn't want to leave you behind. Yeah, and then the ending for Aldrin. I think the whole idea of this expansion, I mean, it's very much... Bungie took an interesting turn. At the beginning of Destiny 1, or at the beginning of Destiny 2, are you ready to go to the Tangled Shore, by the way?
I'm picking up my last thing.
Okay, just let me know when. At the beginning of Destiny 2, Luke Smith made it very clear that they were moving away from the darkness because Bungie didn't know what the hell it was. And I respect that. But it was an interesting term in the franchise since pretty much everything we had been doing up to that point was directly associated with killing the darkness and stopping it and all that. And then it went from the darkness consumes you to your light fades away. The emphasis very much was no longer on the darkness, and a lot of people didn't like that. Now the emphasis is now progressed back, and instead of us fighting the darkness, this entire DLC has themes of us embracing the darkness. You have the introduction of the Drifter, who is the leader of the Dredgens, or the Shadows of Yore, rather. And we're the whole activity centers around us, picking up these motes of darkness and banking them and doing all that. Very much either being schemed into it or enjoying it. You had the revenge story, very Star Warsy, by the way, where we straight up just shot Aldrin in the face, we didn't. He was defenseless.
No, that's what I was saying throughout. It was, yeah.
Yeah.
It felt very Star Wars.
But in Destiny 1, with that narrative lead and the way we were going, we would have let Aldrin live. In Destiny 2, they're making it very clear that it is going to be. I mean, if it wasn't any clearer, if it didn't need to be directly said, Ikora Rey, first or third cutscene of the game, the expansion straight up said, "I want that son of a bitch's head on a spike," or whatever. She said something to that effect. Are you ready to go?
Yes.
Okay. So they're taking the darker turn, and us as Guardians are embracing the darkness. You know, we have the whole thing talking about Toland, or talking with Toland. Whenever you get introduced to the Dreaming City, whenever you're in the Dreaming City, there are consumables that allow you to become ascendant and see hidden stuff. You're essentially smoking hive dust. You know, like that's kind of screwy. You know. It's very much, and then Aldrin with his whole the line between light and dark is so very thin. Do you know what side you're on? Blah blah blah. It is very, very clear that they're leaning towards this isn't a happy story anymore. You know, you're gonna have to cross some lines to meet some ends, and I think that's the way they're gonna go. And you know, I used to say there's never going to be a darkness subclass, but I actually hate myself for even suggesting this. But the way they're going, I would not be surprised if in Destiny, the final Destiny 4 or something, we finally do start to dabble a little bit like Toland was or something, and we learn a little bit about like sword logic or something, and we learn to incorporate that a little bit, mind you, a little bit, because they're making it they're going a much different way with this than I thought they were going to go. And it's a much darker story than I thought it was going to be, and I love it. And everything ties into that. And what's so exciting is you have these layers of the story that, you know, if you think about, like, let's just think like House of Wolves, right? It was kind of like a single layered story. Like, they went back later and explained that the whole reason Skolas did everything he did was because he knew Oryx was coming and he wanted to band together the fallen houses so they survived and all that. But that was an afterthought. With this, it's very clear that there are layers within the story, right? Like, we're fighting the Scorn, but bam, the main bad guy is actually only doing the stuff with the Scorn because he's being controlled by a taken Ahamkara. Boom, that taken Ahamkara is only controlling him because of Savathun and Kyria. The taken Vex mind, right? And so you have all these layers that are going to stem out into Destiny 3 or into whatever Destiny 2 Year 3 looks like, if there is one, or what, all these sorts of things. So, and then on top of that, you have the Drifter. They're laying seeds for Joker's Wild in Gambit. They're doing all that sorts of stuff. You have Cade's backstory, adding even more layers with him leaving the secret message to Petrovenge in the final mission about it being on Enceladus. What is that? Is that just an Easter egg? Are there crazy things here? You know, there's all sorts of stuff. I feel like we went from reading like a first grade science book to reading like a freshman level in college chemistry book, where it's so much more in depth and things are all tied together and explained more in depth, and there's actual fundamental story about things tying into each other. It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful.
And I think this Destiny DLCs, that it didn't feel like it was just like, oh, go here, collect this, bring it back to vendor gives you next like set. Like, while you were kind of doing that, the story was fleshed out in between each
I've marked a suspicious energy
each Baron that you fought, and then each one had its own personality, so it felt like you were actually, like, you wanted to go out and track these people down and, you know, go from there.
Mine was more about not, oh man, this thing killed Kate. It was like, wow, this guy would probably be a lot of fun to kill. Like,
yeah. Well, and like I said, they were all unique. So like, even if there's a few that we didn't really like, but you know, that's only one fight, and you don't have to keep chasing the same guy over and over. Like with Oryx, you were basically chasing Oryx through his own ship until you fought him at the end. So like, it felt like a bunch of mini bosses basically, which was good in my opinion.
I agree. Let's see what some people say. Roofing contractor. Destiny problem is that bosses come out of nowhere. Like, why did he get swallowed? Who's Riven? Who's Argos? Who's Valerie? Why does the Traveler sound evil? I don't know about that last one. That sounds like you've been drinking some DPJ juice, my friend. I'd stop that. I'd cut that shit out right away. But this is really easy to answer. Who is Riven? Riven, that has been explored in previous Grimoire. He is the last surviving Ahamkara, or thought to be. There are rumors of him. He's actually the Ahamkara that made the Awoken what the Awoken are, right? So there's lore behind that. Why did he get swallowed? Because he got tricked by an Ahamkara, and I can't imagine Ahamkara is really like dealing with people that didn't actually get what they want. Who's Argos? Argos is the planetary mind of Nessus, similarly to how Panoptes was the planetary mind of Mercury. That was explained in the DLC as well. Who's Valerie? I have no idea who Valerie is. Do you know of anyone called Valerie? Valerie in Destiny? I don't think that's a person. I think you just made that one up. Oh. Who the hell?
It's his girlfriend.
Yeah.
It's probably
Valerie. Who could Valerie even be? Who could he be talking about? I have no idea who Valerie could even be. So I don't know who you're talking about. Sweet chair. Thanks. Yeah. New chair. Upgrades. Woo! Did you finish the campaign? Hell yeah. Going through a second time. Let's see. So much for Marasov being alive. Oh, I don't want to spoil anything. See, I would have liked to know this stuff, but it's not in the cutscenes. Well, of course not, because cutscenes are expensive, right? So you're going to put the most fundamental information there, and then if you're hardcore enough to really care about this stuff, they expect you to read the lore, which is, you know, why they put it in the game now. But, there's a couple of YouTube channels I would recommend. Beard Grizzly, Bife, obviously. All of the Mylan games, although I don't know if he's allowed to since he's working with Bungie. I don't know. But most importantly, make sure you're buying the books that Bungie is going to be putting out, because they're going to explain all this. If you care enough about the story, and it sounds like you do, that's something you have to actively look for. They very much structured it so if you're a casual player, you can just do whatever you want. But if you're a hardcore player, you have to actively go out and, kind of search for it. And now it's easier with the lore tabs in the game and all that sort of stuff, but, be wary. So these are all lore things that are there. Is that what the final boss was in Ahamkara? No, it was a taken servitor, and it's really cool because there's a lot of theories that was actually Sepic's Prime, which would have been the third time that we fighted him. Or fighted. Oh my god.
Fighted. Yeah.
I just said fight on stream. That would have been the third time that we fought him, like a normal English person would say. And I haven't seen the lore to back that up, but I think that would be really cool because it's like the Destiny actually just turns into a really sad story about how Sepix just wants to die, but no one will let him. They just keep bringing him back.
Yeah.
Oh man, I think that'd be a really cool twist. So I hope that happens, and I hope he gets resurrected as something else next. I don't know. No, but the final boss was sort of an extension of Riven. Riven is trapped in the Awoken Keep. I forget what it's actually called, in the Awoken Castle place. Not in the Dreaming City, but in the, I believe it's called the Keep of Voices. I think that's right. I think the Keep of Voices. So he's trapped in there, and so he's trying to reach out and get out. What was that junk on his body? I don't know, man. It was like a servitor shell with a bunch of organic stuff. Do you have any insight on what that might have been, Jay-Z? What's all the organic stuff on him?
I don't know.
It looked awesome. That's why. When
he
we
got
finally get to
a space transmitted disease. That's probably what it was.
yeah, for real.
An STD.
When we finally get to fight in Ahamkara, it's gonna be epic. Well, you only have to wait a couple of days, my friend.
I'm sending you
welcome everyone just joining us. The raid boss is Cape Perfected. No, it's Rhythm. You can look at the seal and it shows you. This is a good question. We were talking about the story. RJG asks, who is your favorite Baron to fight? I mean, personality-wise, for me, the most fun to fight had to be either the Mad Bomber or the Trickster. Both
Trickster
were
was
very fun.
I would say
Oh no,
Trickster
the
all-
Mindbender was sick as well. Learning that he created a throne world when he killed Cade. That's what I'm talking about them kind of layering the lore. Because up to this point, we thought only Hive could make throne worlds as part of their sword logic. But here, they're using Mindbender to show us that other species can adapt this logic. And that's, that's actually going to be part of the lore to tie into Marasav and that sort of stuff. But we learned that the Fallen, with enough obsession, can create throne worlds, which is insane. And then the realization that we made Mindbender so strong when we allowed him to kill Cade. That's so cool. That just takes a really cool and in-depth level of foresight that I very much appreciate from the devs. That's an awesome tidbit. That's really epic. I love that a lot. Yeah.
So yeah, I like Trickster because, like, especially when you first meet Trickster.
When you pick up the engram?
Yeah. No. Yeah. Don't spoil it for people who haven't. Yeah.
They'll be fine. I told them to leave.
The first time, like, picking that up and, like, yes, you get it, and then you die. Yeah. It's so much. And then to actually use those in the boss battle too was kind of cool, as well. Yeah, I like Trickster the best, but they were all than like I wasn't a big fan of the biker one.
Yeah, that's the only one I
can't remember.
very much disliked. The machine. Is her name? No, it's Drip. Is it Machinist? Is that her name?
I don't know.
No, Machinist is the one in the strike. I hate the biker one too. Screw that one.
Well, and I can understand why some people might like it because you get to, it's basically like a car chase type event in Destiny, which we've never really had. But
yeah, man. You think if Forsaken is a success, it will give Bungie more of an idea to how to handle the gameplay and story writing moving forward? Oh, absolutely. I mean, I think Warmind did more than enough to set them up for this in terms of what we want, the amount of grind and stuff. I mean, Warmind with the catalysts, with the seasonal changes, things like the Radrixes and that sort of stuff, and getting confirmation that we like that, and then doubling down on that in Forsaken with, we get even more catalysts, and specifically an entire destination based on secrets, which is by far my favorite destination in Destiny history, hands down. That sort of thing. Absolutely. I would very much expect this level of gameplay from every expansion going forward. I don't think that's a crazy thing to think about. I don't know. Yeah, I think they pretty much hit the nail on the head with this expansion, and they know it. They know it. Believe me.
So
well, I think now that they're not paying Nathan Fillion as much money that they can afford to.
Well, I bet, yeah, they traded Nathan Fillion for Michael McConaughey. I'm sure that didn't do him any favors.
I'll say this. Aldrin sent
Well,
the Barons here
they
for
can
a
pay to
reason.
afford some writers now.
I just need to
That's what I meant by that.
But yeah, but like I said, like, you think Nathan Fillion costs more than Michael McConaughey?
Oh yeah.
Really?
Oh, I would say so. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Really? But Drifter has just as many lines as Cade, right?
Yeah, but Nathan Fillion is like.
But it's Michael McConaughey.
Matthew McConaughey?
Matthew. Fuck. That's what I meant. I'm an idiot.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know.
I
yeah,
know
actually,
names. Matt.
It's Matthew McConaughey.
Yes. Yes, that is. That's who does the Drifter's voice. Matthew McConaughey. Look, guys. Okay. Look, I stay in my bubble. I don't do stuff. I don't do stuff. Okay. I knew that. Gravity is an alright movie. Anyways.
It's a good movie. No, not Gravity. You're talking Interstellar.
Fuck me. You see what I'm saying? I'm a video game guy.
Interstellar is a good movie.
Interstellar. I didn't even see Gravity. That's the one where the two people are lost,
Sandra
right?
Bullock. Yeah. They were on a space station and they had to basically rescue them. Yeah, Interstellar much more.
Interstellar. That's the movie I was talking about. That's the one I've actually seen. God dang. I'm disappointed in myself.
They came out around the same time. I can see where you could get confused. Yeah, I got you.
Why does the traveler sound evil? I don't even know what that means. You asked that before. I don't. He doesn't. God, I feel like an idiot now. I think I just want to end the stream. That was really McConaughey. How do you end this?
And your speech, that was amazing.
Well, that's like us calling like it's like us like me saying like Timothy Hanks instead of Tom Hanks or something. Like that's really bad. He's a big actor. That's not one I can just wipe off. That's not something I can just dang. Okay, whatever. Anyways, let's keep going. Yeah, expansion perfect. Like have we not talked about anything in part of the expansion yet?
I think we've covered almost most
new
of
subclasses are really cool. The grind to get them is really cool. I really like how they haven't released all the content. For instance, we know there's a strike called the Corrupted in the Dreaming City that no one has access to right now. That's really cool. It'll progress over the next few weeks. I think that's pretty much it in terms of a base story context, right?
This is my favorite DLC because I enjoyed some of the Borderlands DLCs as my favorite ones of like probably what was their last one with Tiny Tina, the Dungeons and Dragons. Like no, that was my up until this
Assault on
DLC.
Dragons.
I'm sorry.
Yes, up until this DLC, that
You
was my
didn't
favorite
deserve
DLC
to.
of all time was Assault on Dragon's Keep of
Yeah.
any game, and now this one just
And my
blows
people are
that out of the
yours.
water.
Those
Like
It's
Not
really
to
weird how the
alter
best
his law.
DLCs always
Just-
have a fantasy
rest of
theme to them.
scatter.
Isn't that kind of odd?
But it's not too late.
Like
for
a
Yeah.
like a more no, but like a.
good hunting.
I mean, they just think like your two favorite DLCs of all time both have dragons, both have giant castles,
Yeah.
both have amazing
Yeah.
raids. I'm assuming with bosses being dragons. Yeah, I mean, I think it's just I think the lore of dragons and that sort of stuff and that sort of thing, the folklore or whatever, is so fleshed out that there's so many influences that you can draw inspiration from, and I think that means that you pretty much always have a good story for things like those. Skyrim Dragonborn is my favorite DLC ever. That was the one. Yeah, that's the same thing though. That is essentially. I mean I forget the dark guy's name, Tentacle Faces, but they are essentially the Taken of this world. I mean that's once again almost the same thing, right? You go to different realities, you get crazy stuff. I mean, it's how you make a good story, people. I'm telling you. You said Matt. I said Michael a good 6 times before you noticed. I didn't even notice. Jay-Z noticed. But yeah, I think that's really all we have to talk about. I mean, honestly though, we're going hardcore in the paint for the raids. Once I knock out the stories on my second and third characters, I'll probably do some streams of us leveling up and getting ready for it. But especially since you can't utilize the raids this time around, like, it's really just a lot of grunt work, and I don't know how interesting that is to watch, and especially because like when I do like grindy stuff like that, I shut down. Like I kind of I put on music, I just kind of do my thing. I enjoy the hell out of it, and sometimes it's a little bit more difficult to do on stream. But if it's something you guys want, I'll probably do a couple streams of that, and of course we'll be able to. I mean, the raid next week's gonna be crazy. I can't wait. Maybe next week for the last word, if we're all leveled up and we all get, our powerful rewards done and stuff, we could do a last minute raid practice on Thursday night and just kind of get into the zone. That would be pretty cool. We'll have to see. We'll have to see where everyone's at. That's hard. It's hard to make
I don't
plans.
just how much grind is already there. I don't think that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, just a heads up for everyone listening. It's probably not going to be that, but if we are,
Well, we'll
then
see.
yes, that.
I would like to, and I think if everyone gets their second and third characters done by Tuesday, which everyone's on track to, I think it might be possible, man. We'll see. We'll definitely see.
Yeah.
Alrighty then. Zerus the Dragon. Guys, can we please bring attention to the fact that Skarrow just sent me on something like a 30-40 minute quest to get the Forsaken soundtrack. Enjoy the hell out of it, man. I'm really excited that we get it for free. I can't wait to listen to it. I've been, well, no, that's a lie, because I have been listening to it. It's really good to listen to when running through and farming and stuff. It's very good. So, and there's some throwbacks in there, which is really cool. I love when they do that. They put in hints of old soundtracks in there. So that's always some of my favorite. That's really, really cool. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, man. Okay, well, I think that's gonna be the stream. All around, great discussion. End verdict, yeah, the Forsaken's my favorite DLC of Destiny, of probably any game. And but we knew that was gonna happen. I predicted that. Jay-Z predicted that a couple months ago, and I mean, I haven't been disappointed. Bungie's knocking it out of the park, and I love their community interaction. Like I said, with the Gambit stuff, the Bungie rewards stuff, and most importantly, the belt we're gonna win, the raid belt.
Well, here's the thing. Like, if you're on the fence, if you're an MMO fan, this is the most MMO Destiny has ever been. And if you enjoy MMOs, you will enjoy this. Especially some of the subclasses are Warlock subclasses, very MMO-esque. All three of them, actually, I think.
Hell yeah.
I would recommend this DLC to anybody that
I would tell my
enjoys
mother to buy
MMOs.
this DLC.
Obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah. But I mean, it's the story's good too. So like, even if you just buy it for the story, you know, you're not going to be disappointed, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's one of those things. It's very interesting because, to me at least, they added a bunch of elements to make it more like Destiny 1. But I think as a whole, on average, this game is not what Destiny 1 was. This is much different. It's much bigger than what Destiny 1 was in scope and size. And Destiny 1 was more of an RPG, and Destiny 2 is more of an MMO. And I think they're really starting to embrace that. And so I think if you really liked Taken King Destiny 1, you know, I would understand if you weren't the largest fan of where the game is right now, because it went from being a very casual, friendly game with some hard aspects to being a very, very grind-focused game with some casual aspects. And, I mean, they're really leaning into it, and I love that. That's awesome. I think they did a fantastic job, but I get that some people are not going to like it. It's definitely... My dad was texting me, because my younger brother, he's 12 or something. Yeah, he's 12. Got the DLC he was playing, and I was asking my dad, I was like, are you playing it? And he's like, no, I shot like one guy. And I was like, good, you probably should not get into it, because it's a time commitment. And so I think if you're not sucked in right now, unless you have an addictive personality type, it's probably not a good idea to get too crazily into it, you know? I don't know. Some people like it. I love it. I don't think I could live without it. I think I'd have too much free time. I think I'd be bored as hell. And I don't regret anything. But I know it's definitely, if you play games for story, I don't know if I would recommend dropping $40 on this, you know? But if you're a type of gamer who truly loves video games and grinding and having, you know, your time investment respected, this is the best investment you could ever make, I would say. I mean, $40 and maybe $100 if you buy the Destiny collection for thousands of hours of gameplay.
Hell of a deal.
Yeah.
Hell of a deal.
Hell of a deal. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, this is, in terms of what I look for in video games, absolutely. I would not change a thing. Bungie did it right. Bungie did the best job, dude. Hell yeah. Alrighty then. So I think that's where we're going to end it. So make sure you guys go follow me at Skarrow9 on Twitter. Keep up to date with what streams you're going to go on, especially with us, you know, being kind of tentative with everything. It's very important that you keep updated, so make sure you do that. Keep an eye on the channel. I have some more exotic guides and stuff coming in the next couple of days. But yeah, JC, you can go ahead and do your thing, man.
JZ Basketball 25 on Twitter. And that's, yeah.
Boom, boom. So there we go, guys.
Buy the Forsaken. Buy it. If you like anything Destiny, buy the Forsaken.
I 100% agree. Yep, definitely. But yeah, guys, that's going to be it. Thank you for watching today. Thanks for sharing your opinions. Thanks for the conversations. If you haven't seen any of the videos I put out in the past week, make sure you go watch them. There's a lot of good guides and info there especially if you're just now getting into the end game activity and that sort of stuff. But until next time, guys, I'll see you later.
Peace.